what do you do when your country's about to be invaded by some Mongols and you're not quite prepared for the fight? Well, you call Hachiman. I'm sorry, you don't know who Hachiman is? Uncultured. Hachiman is known as the Shinto god of war, god of samurai, the protector of Japan, other things probably. But how does one acquire such prestigious titles? It's a lot of godlike storms, a really cool emperor, and a cult. Sounds like a lot, I know, but let's just get started along now. What godlike storms am I talking about? Well, back in the day, 1274 or so, the Mongols were all over Asia. They were just conquering whatever they saw. They see that land, they want it, you know? They would just go in, bring a scimitar, is that the weapons they use? And they would take that land because that's how politics were back in the day. If their military was better than your military, they would win. And the Mongols had a much better military than everybody else. Now, naturally, Kublai Khan, the leader of these Mongols, saw Japan just across the way after they finished conquering some land. And he was like, I want that. So they set up an invasion. They got some soldiers together. They got on some boats, you know, because that's kind of the only way you could get to Japan back in the day was boats. There weren't really planes. Well, you can't get to Japan by a plane anyways nowadays. And they set out. Now, they were out on the sea, you know, just boats are rocking, boys being boys, singing sea shanties, getting ready for the fight. When suddenly this great storm shows up out of nowhere, literally from nowhere. Kublai Khan was watching from the other shore, wherever he was. And he was watching with his binoculars, and he's like, now I wonder where that came from. All right, this great storm blasted through all those people. The Mongols washed up on the shores of Japan, beaten by some wind. And they were pretty easy to kill after that. The samurai just ran around, hunted them down, stabbed. Now the Mongols clearly thought it was just bad luck. Like one bad storm, nothing too bad. So they decided to try again, like 7 years later. So they got some soldiers, got some boats, same thing, set out, and another storm suddenly shows up. So at this point, Japan's thinking that there's a god up there blowing wind at them. They assumed that it was god winds or kamikaze. Probably too early to make this video. Now you can see how kamikaze became what it is today. An attack before an attack. You can see how they were thinking that. So Japan thought they were being protected by a divine force, and so did Kublai Khan. So he gave up. Now, where did Hachiman come from? Well, it's a long story actually, but it's not actually. Where did Hachiman come from? Well, as with most gods, the origins are mostly unknown. In other words, I don't know. It is believed that the spirit of Hachiman took the form of Emperor Ojin. Hachiman means literally 8 banners. It's said that Emperor Ojin, his spirit, was born under these great 8 banners, which I don't know what that means, but I assume it was just like 8 dudes standing around him, holding a banner each, you know? I don't know what that symbolizes, but maybe it's really cool. Now, Hachiman can also be read as Yahata. It's also speculated that the name Hachiman came from the place that the cult of Hachiman originally arose from, somewhere in Kyushu. I think it was Oita Prefecture. Now, Emperor Ojin, I mentioned him earlier. Who's this guy? You know, why is he so cool? Well, Emperor Ojin is regarded as a legendary ruler of Japan. He consolidated some imperial power. He made the institution of land reforms, and he promoted some cultural exchange between their friendly little neighbors there, Korea and China. The cultural exchange, you know, you got those Korean basket weaving techniques. You got your kanji. That's right, China, I'm looking at you. So yeah, Emperor Ojin is basically the main reason that kanji exists. So next time you need somebody to curse out when you're trying to figure out why Chinese isn't Japanese, that's your man. So how's Hachiman worshipped? You know, he's this great dude. He has Emperor Ojin as his spirit. He has sent these great god winds out. So how'd they worship him? Worship of Hachiman started in the Shinto Usa shrine in Kyushu, northern Kyushu to be specific. Nobody really knows why it started in Kyushu, but it did. So eat that. They made a figure of Hachiman, and then they sent it off to this Buddhist monastery that was opening. And the Buddhists got this weird statue in the mail, and they're like, this is from that Hachiman shrine? This? They made this? Well, that's awesome! So the Shinto Usa shrine, the Usa Hachiman shrine, the Shinto Usa Hachiman shrine was rewarded with tax exemption and higher imperial court power, whatever that means. Now, the cult surrounding Hachiman believed that a female priestess could be possessed by the spirit of Hachiman, and they would go around uttering these things. But Hachiman would speak through them, and a male priest would try and interpret what they meant. So they'd write it down, and then this Buddhist monk, Shinto, the spirit of Hachiman, calm, Sugi, sit, sound, calm. Jinun, a Buddhist monk, eventually transcribed all of this, compiled it, and put it into what is called the Hachiman Usagu Gotaku Senshu. Pronunciation's hard. So what did we learn today? We learned that Japan's protected by magical winds that will knock you out of the sea if you sail towards them. This guy, Emperor Ojin, was pretty cool. He did a lot of cool stuff. And we learned that some Shinto bros gave some Buddhist bros a statue, and they loved it. That's all from me today. I gotta go. I have to get out of this place. I got like a bus to catch or something, a meeting to go to, some hands to warm up, coffee to drink. So I'll see you later, you know? I'll see you around. Things to do, a dog to feed.
優しすぎるお前のことだから